And family, this is your girl Laura coming to you with another YouTube video for your listening pleasure. And today I want to talk to you, my friends, about vows, and particularly about breaking vows. Have you ever made a vow or promise? I'm going to use those two words interchangeably, that you've broken. Have you ever had a vow made to you and had the person to break it? How did that make you feel? Very disappointed, very let down. Well, that is the same way that others feel when we make a promise to them or make a vow to them and we don't keep it. I read a quote once that states that a person with integrity keeps their vows and their promises even until they're hurt, which means that if you make a promise, you don't break it unless you're on your deathbed. You don't make any excuses. No matter what comes up, you find a way to keep that promise, to keep that vow. My friend, have you ever made a vow to God and broken that vow? I can raise my hand. I can say that I have. And God knows that we're human. He knows our frame. He knows exactly what we're going to do before we do it. But my friend, I came to let you know that it's a dangerous thing to make a vow to God and not keep it, because He will collect. And just because He has not collected as of yet, do not account that to Him as Him being slothful or slow, as we like to account to our fellow man. We like to call people slow, you know. But no, God is not slothful. He's not slow. He keeps copious notes. He does not forget anything. And so just think about how many times we have let Him down. How many times we have broken a vow to Him. Now, my friend, God is such an awesome God that when He makes a promise, you know what? You can bet on that promise that it's going to be kept. It's going to be fulfilled. And my friend, when He makes a promise, He does not swear to anything in the heavens or anything on the earth. He doesn't swear to you or me. You know what? He swears to His own name. God is so awesome, and He's so confident that every promise that He makes, that He's going to fulfill it, that He swears by His own name. Whenever He's made a promise in the Bible, it has been for His name's sake. Whenever the prophets have requested something from God, they've always reminded Him of His promises in the Bible, and they've always told Him, remember, for your name's sake. And even He promises to bless us and to keep His promises for His name's sake. He doesn't need any help from us at all to keep a promise. He's so awesome that His name alone means something. Do you remember back in the day when a person's word was their bond? When you could hear a certain family's name and you knew that family name, it stood for integrity, and that it was a good name, that it was an honorable name. It was a name that you could depend on and count on for quality. Nowadays, we've lost that. But I just came to let you know that it's a dangerous thing to make a vow to God. A lot of times we utter words and we utter promises, and sometimes we have no intentions of keeping them. Sometimes it's just human that we get caught up and we forget about the promise that we made. And sometimes it's purposely that we make a promise to God and then we end up going back into the same mess that He delivered us from. Does this sound familiar? God, if you bless me and you get me out of this, I'm going to serve you. If you heal my body, I'm never going to do this again. I'm going to do this right. I'm going to do that right. And no sooner than you receive the blessing and the healing, like the dog that's mentioned in Proverbs that returns to his or her vomit, we go back to the same mess that God delivered us from. And that's a dangerous thing, my friend, because you know what can happen? The very thing that you uttered to Him and promised that you wouldn't go back to, and you end up going back to it, especially if you purposely go back to it. If you just utter some words just to get out of your mess, and you have a track record of God, blessing you and pulling you out of something, and then you return right back to it purposely, my friend, what can happen to you is that whatever he delivered you from, it can be put back on you, and it can happen to you 10 times worse than before. It can happen 10 times worse. And so, my friend, make sure that you count up the cost before you make a vow to God and to your fellow man. Don't utter words just to say yes to something. Make sure you count up the cost, and make sure that you keep your promise even to your own hurt. Don't say yes, and then just because you don't feel like it, you break the promise. And with God, there's no such thing as I don't feel like doing it. You make the promise, you need to keep that promise to him. He's kept all of his promises to you. He's blessed you for his name's sake. It reminds me of the old Aesop's tale, where the turtle and the snake, there was a big lake, and the snake was not able to swim across and get to the other side. And so he happened to encounter this turtle. And so as we think about turtles, we think about them being slow, easily to be duped. And so the snake, being the conniving, deceitful creature that he is, he talked the turtle into taking him across. And of course, the turtle had his, he wanted to hold back because he knew that the snake could bite him. But the snake made a promise. No, if you take me across, you're the only one that can help me across. If you don't, I'm not going to survive. I'm unable to swim across this huge lake myself. And so, no, I'm not going to bite you. But no sooner than they got close to land, guess what? The snake did bite the turtle. And the turtle said, you know what? You promised that you wouldn't bite me. And you know what the deceitful snake's answer was? You knew that I was a snake before you picked me up and carried me across. You knew that I was a snake before you picked me up and carried me across. My friend, today I just want you to think about your promises. Don't be like the snake, make a promise and then break it on purpose. Don't utter vows and promises in vain, because believe me, there will come a time where you have to pay for the vow that you made. So take that into consideration. I want to thank you all for listening. I hope that you've enjoyed the content of this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. And my friend, make sure that you keep your promises even to your own hurt. That's considered integrity and character. Don't make a promise that you can't keep. Don't write a check that you can't cash. All right. And until we meet again, bye-bye, my friends.